Jesus, I'm raising 5 kids and I didn't miss last week. What's your excuse? Carl!
Looking for Frank.
2 assholes busted into our house looking for you in some car.
I don't care how you get the money, but I want $6 grand in cash by Saturday, or this ear will be hanging around my neck.
The shoplifting is out of hand.
Did Mickey pay for that?
That's it. Follow me.
You know where I live if you have a problem.
I have not been out of the house in 5 years.
Oh, God. Oh, I can't. Stop it. Make it stop.
Hi, this is David Nutter. I'm the director of this episode. I'm here sitting with
Eitan Frankel, who wrote the episode.
Cameron Monahan, who plays Ian.
And Jeremy White, who plays Lit.
And to talk a little bit about where this episode came from, we were pretty fortunate on Shameless that the show came from a British version created by Paul Abbott. That's pretty fantastic. And there were great stories already in the first season of the British version. And John Wells, the executive producer of our American version, kind of gave us the directive of using some of the stories from the British version that we thought could help us, but also not handcuffing us directly to the stories out of there, so that we were able to take the characters and the stories in different directions if we wanted to. And so some of the stories, like the Ian Cash story and the Discovery with by Linda, that one was inspired by the British version, but there were others like the Fiona Steve story, Going Away, that we created out of whole cloth, and Frank going in the toilet.
Exactly. What a great opening sequence, guys. Was that fun to shoot?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. They kind of just had us playing around, doing a bunch of different things, and then they just stitched together all their favorite stuff, and I think it turned out great.
We got pretty, what did we? We, like, wrestled in one, and...
We did.
We ended up getting pretty competitive, and, we almost broke the sink, I think, in there, and they didn't use any of it, because I think it got a bit...
out of hand.
Bit much.
But the toothbrush in the toilet was the ticket, I think.
Semolina, 7 grain, and whole wheat.
For my own self, in getting a chance to work on this show, having worked with John Wells before on ER episodes, his world is always so very dense and so very real, and everything that he does is at the top caliber of anything you're going to be able to do in television. And when I saw this pilot directed by Mark Mylott, who also directed the pilot for the British version of the show, I was just like, wow, this is like so rich, so dense, so crazy, so out there, so wild. Can I do it? Can I do this thing? It's so well done. The performances and the actors are all so sharp and quick and together and understand each other emotionally. And it was just like, let's go make this happen. It was a real pleasure doing this, because you get some amazing performers here. This was a sequence here. It started to get cold in Chicago.
Oh, it was fucking
we were shooting.
freezing.
I think it actually got snowed in after I left after this sequence.
Yeah,
Is that right?
I think that's about right.
Huge blizzard.
Yeah, it was very cold. And also, too, we had so little time. When you're doing a show like this and you're doing it for showtime and so forth, it's all about run and gun. So it's about preparation for the director, and also, too, the actors. These guys all know their lines. They all know everything they're doing. It never is a situation you're waiting, and they always give 1,000%. It's really a real pleasure for a director to work on a show like this, and there's none like it.
But you know what?
And then that run and gun style, I think, also suits the style of the show. You feel that in this family, that they're kind of on the run and gun too. Everything's fast paced. Everything's they have to get done in a hurry. So it actually kind of feeds into what you're seeing on screen.
And they're also so very clever and so very supportive, and something like this happens, they don't have to even talk to each other. They get it. They understand the ruse of what's happening, and you guys catch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a look.
We're really fortunate on the show as writers to have actors who are able to play so many different things without having to say them, and are able to play a lot of different emotions just with looks between each other. And part of that is, I think, the closeness of the cast. Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about... it does feel on set like you guys are a family. You fight, you laugh, you hug.
I need cash.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember it was so very valuable. We did, I guess it was before we did the pilot.
Best there is.
We all got together and with Mark Mylod, who again directed the first episode of this and the British series, and we all got together and he kind of gave us homework for our characters and had us all just eat meals together. And I think we went and played miniature golf and
There were
batting
batting
cages,
cages,
and arcade games, and then everyone just right off the bat got along great. And then I think we were just all so excited about the show and about the pilot. At least for me, I wanted to spend time around these people in the meantime because it just reminded me of the show, and we were all just so excited to hear if we were going to get picked up. And since then, yeah, it's been I don't know, we've all been very close.
No, I guess it's kind of a case of life imitating art. You know, we've really become a really close-knit bunch. We're basically like a family, and we all genuinely like each other and want to spend time with each other. And it's a great thing, and I think it shows.
And I found it so interesting. All the Gallagher kids, except for myself, all the actors are only children. Have you ever picked that up? Like Emmy, except for the Liams, of course. They're twins. But Emmy, Emma, Ethan, yourself. I have a little sister.
So we're the family that we always wish
You guys
we
are
had.
the family we wish you had.
Exactly, and what's most amazing for me as a director is that it's led by an actor by the name of Bill Macy. William H. Macy, who's just someone that I've just watched and learned from for so many years, and it must be just great working with somebody like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That,
pretty good for someone who's new.
Yeah,
Kinda showing you the ropes a little bit.
Well, not just showing you ropes, but showing you how to be as an actor. He's really a real great guy.
He's great.
As far as that's
He's
concerned.
fantastic. It's so bizarre though. We rarely have scenes. But there's a little more this season, but we rarely have scenes because he's kind of always off doing his thing.
This meat
wanna
was
know,
really
yeah.
heavy. That meat was like crazy heavy for Steve Harvey. That was a real
Heavy,
deal.
It was incredibly smelly.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
It was very smelly. This is the real deal. The thing about John Wells and all these guys, they steep these actors in such
was
intense
Jesse?
reality that he's really cutting it away. But they steep in this reality. It's what made the success of ER, what's made the success of this show, and you feel like you're really in this and part of it, and your fingers are nice and dirty watching it all.
I remember Steve Howe got quite a workout cutting
Oh
that,
my
take
God,
after
he
take
was just
cutting that meat.
outside of that door, just grunting and just like deep, heavy breathing. And I was like, "Are you gonna call someone or you good?"
Yeah,
When he was saying clear out of the way, he meant it. Yeah. He wanted to put it down.
exactly. And also, too, what's so great is the complications in life and emotions and how people live their real lives. And this relationship with yourself and Pej Cameron, it's just it feels so honest and so true and so believable that it's just such powerful stuff.
One of the challenges of this storyline was always playing an older man and a younger kid who's about, I guess, 16, 17 years old, and questions of pedophilia and issues like that. And we always felt as writers that Ian was the one who had the power in the relationship, and Cash was the one who was probably in love with Ian, and that for us freed us to tell a lot of different kinds of stories that otherwise might have been burdened with a sort of political air
Right.
about.
Let's pencil that in for safety.
Yeah, no, I thought that was definitely very brave of the series to not ever make Cash seem predatory, I think that was really important to the character dynamic.
Well, there was that one scene I remember, but you actually, I guess you ran out when he brought you into his, and it wasn't necessarily predatory, but he was very much putting his,
Yeah.
bringing you into his life a little more.
His own life, and
Yeah.
Ian doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be a part of that. That wasn't in this
episode.
to
Was it
him.
in this episode? No, right?
No, I think that was, what was it, 5? Pretty
Okay.
sure.
But what's also fascinating about this show is the fact that this is not the TV version of life. It's the real version of life. And things happen on this show that you never would expect to see on television. But that's what makes it so honest and so cool is that that it does. And it's just amazingly powerful and so real and so surprising and clever that is very real interesting part of this show. Another part of the show is that they shoot the exteriors in Chicago, and some exteriors, but most of the interiors in Los Angeles. So it's a really production issue where you're having to deal with the exterior, you're snowing and so forth. The next scene, you're inside a house, maybe shot a week later or a week earlier, so forth. And the continuity is quite a important part of this. It's very interesting for these guys to kind of jump in and out of sequences and scenes. That is a lot of fun.
I love him in this episode.
Sad clown.
You left Liam where? He's not dry cleaning. You can't just drop him off. Look after Liam.
Oh, and her.
And Joan Cusack, she was so wonderful in this episode. And we had so little time when we shot this up with Joan and the twins. And we were in and out of sequences and very quickly, and had to have it all figured out as much as we could. But Joan was such a trooper and such a fantastic pro. She's just simply one of the best actresses ever.
And she does something so amazing, specifically in this episode. She did it in the whole season, but especially in this episode, she's able to make a character so big and full of life and almost bigger than life, and yet
she comes back.
She comes back to an emotional reality, and that is so difficult to do. That she's anchored in a very real place at the end of the day, and not, as David mentioned, the professionalism. I mean, I know on this episode she had a lot of scenes with a 1.5-year-old, where the 1.5-year-old was sometimes expected to act, or we hoped he would act,
and actually did act.
But it's not always easy, and 1.5-year-olds are unpredictable, and I mean, you guys can talk a little bit about what it's like to act with someone so young, and those kids are so game. But for Joan to have the patience and the focus to be able to go into those scenes and to stick with them and to get such a great performance was a real challenge.
And the improv backgrounds of working in Chicago and so forth too really helps a lot as well, because I think it really made things pop. And congratulations to Joan. She got nominated for an Emmy for this, which was great.
Tell you to put your mask on before helping anyone else. Put your mask on, Fiona.
Justin Chatwin, actually, in Vancouver, I did a pilot years ago called Smallville, and his first SAG job was that show.
Oh,
he got a SAG card off of that.
That's right.
He actually got cut out of the pilot at the very end. He just had a very small part, but it was kind of.
So did you get royalties from all his gigs now?
No, I get nothing. I get nothing. This is a funny character that you created that was
coming back.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's back in season 2.
Oh, good.
Kermit. I love writing creepy characters that are slightly unnerving.
He's great. Look at I love his face.
You can tell him, I'm sorry, I tried. Frank's male.
What's the great thing about the entire cast of the show is just everyone is so unique and so developed and dimensional. That's just, and not just in how everyone looks, but just the wealth of your acting. I mean, you guys, when I watched the show, I was just like, I was so astounded by the freeness and the naturalness and the relaxing situation. You weren't acting, you were being these guys. And I wasn't watching a television show, but I was experiencing a happening. I was involved in something, and that's something that I, after watching the pilot, I just wanted to try to do every inch of my work to match that as well as I could, because that to me was a great template. And this is, of course,
now this got added later, didn't it?
No, we shot this during the sequences, of course. This is, of course, Frank living his life with no rules.
Oh, God.
65-inch flat screen? Where the hell is that?
Wait, let me see this.
It's a great bit on Carl coming up here when Ethan does the penthouse line.
Little nod and smile.
Exactly. Of course, the meat everywhere that they stole.
Of course.
Now, in the original script, the meat, it turns out, was horse meat.
Horse meat,
they find
that's right.
out.
Right.
That's that key scene where you find out that it's horse meat ended up getting cut.
No. Oh, it did?
It did get
I was
cut.
actually watching a network cut just to watch it again. So I guess it did get cut out.
Bills.
There are a lot of fun jokes about it at the end. People are still eating the meat, and someone I think says, "I don't think you want to eat that."
Yeah.
But that, as part of the process for making a TV show, certain things fall by the wayside.
You know what they say, meat is meat, right?
I didn't cause the downfall of the American economy.
And also what's great is what you guys write for Bill and And Frank here is the fact that he just goes at it. He just pontificates and just goes and just says stuff that you're like, what? But to him, it makes total sense.
And Bill commits
so
so much
smart,
to
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Sends for his whole family.
Yeah, I always like that you get a sense that Frank used to be a really intelligent guy, and he still has a semblance of that, but...
Just a little alcohol mushed everything
yeah,
up a
just
bit.
kind of... he's just the alcoholic ranter.
Right, absolutely. And everyone is just so courageous. I think all of you have just been such courageous performers and actors in this show that there are no hesitations to anything, which is just fantastic.
Who has fathered 2 children have no balls? It's a medical mystery.
What do you want me to do?
Restock the feminine hygiene.
What did you want me to do? Shoot the kid?
Linda
here,
there, yeah.
she's just such a tremendous actress. I thought that I was really happy with the stuff she did with you guys in these sequences, especially the scene later on that just turned out really well.
Yeah, that's Marguerite, who's always a pleasure to work with.
Yeah,
you know, I
she's
think
just fantastic.
we're really fortunate to have a strong guest cast on the show that
absolutely.
really fleshes out.
Yeah, sometimes they upstage us, which isn't that great.
And Pej, who plays Cash, always brought such a real sensitivity and heart to the show that you really felt that even though you didn't always necessarily agree with all his choices, particularly living this double life, keeping things from his family, he was someone in some ways that you really sympathized with, and you felt his. Even if you didn't always agree with him, you felt what he was going through.
Yeah, I always thought he was so childlike, and he always did these strange things. We almost couldn't stay mad at him, you know.
It's a perfect example of Joan's great abilities as an improv actress. I mean, we didn't know what this kid was going to do. We tried to put him in a sit-down thing where we didn't work, and then he would just come over and we set this all up, and he just would grab stuff and do exactly kind of what we hoped he would do. Even grab the proper doll.
What do you like better, the baby or the whore? Which one, baby? Whore. Okay. Look at that. It's Karen's Easy Bake Oven. Oh my gosh.
I would think if you're a little kid, playing with Joan would be a lot of fun.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
What is this
Easily
meeting
one of the
tonight?
most adorable scenes on Shameless ever.
Social worker. We're getting a foster kid.
I thought you didn't want kids.
And Emmy Rossum, who plays Fiona, is such a great anchor to the show. You really feel her, the burden she has to take on.
And also who's great is, I think, Shanola, who plays Veronica, who just is so ballsy, is the lack of a better word. She just goes for it. She doesn't give a shit. She's like, this is me. This is who I am. And I think her and Steve Howie are just a great couple. And are just so rich and wonderful. I'll never forget, even in the pilot stages of watching the pilot, at the end of the pilot, when they come over to the house, why is the music on so loud and so crazy? And he goes, and he wanted them to be part of the party, and I went, oh my God, that's something I didn't expect.
Yeah, and
that's the thing about the show that's so great is you watch sequences and scenes, and you expect it to go one way, and they always flip it. And that's what makes it so entertaining.
It was great. I love that scene. Shanola, plays Veronica, goes walking into the room. You can just see she's about half asleep, but she's grabbing, the vodka and, the glasses, and she's like just sleepwalking into the room with the liquor.
Exactly right.
Let's see. Do you like it?
Oh.
Do you like
The twins actually played pretty well together. I actually was using an iPad TV cartoon to keep his attention right off camera, so
That's
she
an
could
idea.
do that to him.
I remember, David, you brought a whole host of things just in case.
Oh, we're not going to get into that now. Yeah.
You're a sweet boy.
Oh my God.
Yes, you are.
This was a lot of fun, this sequence.
Hobo Brawl.
These are classic, these are old-time stunt guys that are working, and this is an actor who's been a friend of mine for many years, Tim Thomerson, who I think a lot of, who I thought did really good job with Frank.
Yeah, one of the things we try to do on the show is create this world and this community, and we populate with all these weird, strange characters and hope to bring them kind of popping in and out of the world, so you get a sense as the show keeps going that this really is a community that these people really live in.
And they can depend on each other. That's the thing about this family, is they don't have anything, but they have each other. That's their currency. That's their strength. That's what they rely on, is they can rely on each other.
And even the neighborhood I'm finding now, you know, someone could have, you know, kicked your ass last week, and the next week they're, you know, helping you out.
Right.
It's great.
Make those guys who are
Right.
after you think
I think Tim and Bill look a little bit almost like brothers.
Yeah.
In this sequence.
to be dead, and your problems die for real.
Yo, Gallagher, you're up.
And as a director, you just don't have a lot of time to do stuff, so it's like make that great decision. John Wells always says, "Go have fun," and it is very freeing to have that from John. It's a real treat, but it's never quite fun. But once you get it how you like it, then I guess the fun comes then.
It's still warm. Liam? Liam?
David, did this show have any particular challenges that were different from other shows you'd worked on?
Well, I think probably the biggest challenges you have on this show is there's so much you want to do and so little time to do it, and I think that you want to spend as much time letting the actors act and enjoy doing that and get as much stuff out of them, and not. But to me, it's about preparation, so I can have as much figured out as I can, so they have the freedom to do their thing, and that's a real big part of the show, I think, which is important, and also too just to make sure that it's all very much alive and it's moving and there's nothing static, because life isn't static, and this show has to really replicate what life's all about, and it's just so dense. Again, it's just it's the classic John Wells of it's being so wonderfully dense and so rich that you want to capture all of it. This is some great stuff. This is again too. We had Frank go by his son right in front of the house there.
Okay. Where did you guys shoot this?
This is at the Millennium Biltmore downtown Los Angeles.
Beautiful
the lobby.
hotel.
Yeah, great lobby. The prettiest lobby. They use this lobby quite a lot on West Wing, the series. Whenever the president would be speaking in different events and so forth. But this is a little different caliber group, but just as compelling, I think. It started to get very cold out here, and we had our little boy was all layered up. But this was just something we wanted to kind of create a sense of her freaking out and the world collapsing in on top of her.
Where'd you find that guy?
Southside Chicago. They're all around.
Picked him off the. You.
Exactly. What's great is there's like trains by the houses and so forth, and subways. It's just really cool. And this, of course, now we're back in Los Angeles, seeing her being so taken by this. Talk a little about her condition, Ethan. Her condition.
Oh, well, Sheila has agoraphobia.
Yeah.
She's afraid to leave the house. And this episode is, I guess, not to blow it if you haven't seen it, but her first, she's forced to leave to do something heroic and kind of discover something about herself, and ties into who she used to be and who she kind of longs to be from the old days.
Did you guys watch all or at least the first season or so, or of the English version?
We watched the first season of the English version and no more.
Okay.
Because I think it was, as I said earlier, it was kind of that delicate balance of wanting to borrow, for lack of a better word, what was really great about the English version, and also not feel too confined in it. Because we wanted to make this American, we wanted to make this our own version, and not be confined by it.
I was curious, did the Sheila character leave? I watched it as well a long time ago, but did Sheila in the English version ever leave?
You know, it's going back. Not in season 1, as I recall.
Not in season 1, yeah.
It's possible later.
Yeah.
Although she does at the end of the season, I think. I think she's able to, she conquers it at the end of the season. But not for these reasons.
Right, yeah, I do, yeah. I remember now.
Yeah.
She, like, looks up at the sunny, and it's beautiful, yeah.
She spins out and then makes it out, and then, yeah.
Yeah, and Joan is just so seamless in her performance, knowing, 2 weeks later we're in Chicago doing that, we come back, we're doing this sequence, or before it, after, whatever, and she's so rich. This is great, you guys
This is
are
the first
going
scene
for
I
it.
shot.
Huge guy, jumping 290 steroids. Who knows?
Good for him.
I need your help.
I got maybe $2.
No.
Emma's so
Show of
wonderful.
hands. How many
Yeah.
of you, at one point or another, wanted to see me dead?
Want to see me dead.
Here's your chance.
And so now here comes the ruse, here comes the conniving, here comes the plan that they always have ideas and are so
Also resourceful and
ingenuity
smart
yes.
and yeah.
The old Gallagher plan coming together.
Indeed.
I told you, no more comforters until Carl kicks the headlights.
I need a man suit. Something dark.
The box. They were never picked up.
You guys have now just started season 2, right?
Yeah,
right,
it's
we're
going so fast.
What episode are you on now?
We have the reading for 5. We're shooting 4. We have the read through
Wow.
for 5 in a few hours.
Your episode.
That's right.
I got the 5 episodes yesterday. I have to start reading.
Terrible, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna read them on the plane tonight.
When are you coming back, David?
Episode 7.
Episode 7. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got nothing, you?
This is a fun sequence. This was a little bit difficult because we needed to kind of shoot
Can't believe you guys got nothing.
these guys doing something, but not see too much of what they're doing
Looks like a good one, too.
until we want to reveal at the end. So it was kind of interesting, and Steve was so much fun.
Exactly. That's why they need
We pulled the piece up.
Oh, we had so much
Yeah.
trouble with that. You remember
Oh,
him
yeah.
just
Sure,
like
sure.
trying to get that out.
Yeah, and then you realize, oh, they're at a.
Jesus.
This is kind of an added-on scene.
Yeah,
wasn't
that
it?
was.
This
We
is
wrote
kinda-
that after the table read.
Right.
That was a fun scene to write. That came out of me pretty easily. I'm not sure why.
Could I try a sample?
This is a lot of fun. The sequence.
Anytime you can get Frank as a kid in a candy store,
Yeah.
it should come out pretty quickly.
So true.
Dry run. I'm gonna take 6 of these
Just give
red
me
ones.
the horse tranquilizer, enough to knock out a Clydesdale. Frank's a professional. You won't want to check his pockets before you go.
And this is like the classic businessman.
Is that good?
Let's see.
This is a tough day just because there's a lot of pieces and angles to try to get to kind of cover things and figure it all out. But these two guys were right into it all the way.
Lock the door.
This scene is actually based on a British episode.
That's right.
So I wanted to kind of, that Mark had directed, so I wanted to make it as unique to itself as possible. That was still paying homage to that.
Uh-oh.
Trouble for Ian and Cash.
What time is it?
More like, what day is it? Saturday, officially.
I think I've used this clip of the spray on hair in like 9 or 10 different things. It's my homage to use it on the X-Files.
Just leave your mark on everything.
Signature. The spray on hair.
You see the spray on, you know it's a David Nutter.
Yeah, you sure
production.
do. You got it.
John Woo has doves. Nutter has spray on hair.
Exactly right. And the crew is so great too. Ronnie Charters and his camera crew, and these guys, and they go into locations. They start, let's just start shooting, and it's real run and gun stuff, and it kind of lends to the energy and style of the show that I think makes it just really powerful and rich.
Tuck your enormous penis in your pants and go answer the door.
Now, as we get to this pool sequence in a second, I don't know if you remember, David, but there was a bit of a snafu in the pool.
Oh yeah, this is like the real pool to Millennium Biltmore, and we were trying to keep it warm or something, and in doing so, we also want to turn off the motors, and then turn off the motors so the pump's backed up.
Yeah, Emmy wouldn't stop talking about it. Yeah.
And all the credit to Emmy and Justin here, because they looked at this scene at this pool, and they had no problem. I mean, they might have had a problem, but they were professionals. They said, we'll get in there and look sexy and make it look like we love being there.
But it's just watered out, I guess, which is cool. And they have a Canon 5D underwater shooting as well. And again, too, you guys are so fearless. You know, all of you are, which is, I just think, such a powerful element to work with actors in every way. This is, I think, the last shot I shot of the episode when you went to the house.
Oh, this is a good scene. Oh, that's a good scene too, but I wasn't thinking of the scene.
This is with Mickey, played by Noel.
Noel
Yeah,
Fisher.
Noel's great.
Who's a
Yeah.
tremendous
Noel.
actor, so
Yes.
natural.
Yeah.
And Cameron, you and Noel have such a great energy together.
And the dad, who we'll meet in a minute, is very interesting. But this is like a real house. It's really dense. It's crazy. You got no angles to shoot anything, and we just go in and make it happen. And the designer, amazing
I
job.
want the gun back, Mickey.
Gallagher?
The gun.
All right.
This was in a very warm house in Hollywood.
Yes.
Layered in sweaters while doing a fight scene.
No stunt doubles here. These guys were throwing each other around the room.
What's really wonderful too is how the show embraces raw emotions in any form, and the reality of that.
Thank you for watching Liam.
Hope he wasn't too much trouble.
No trouble at all. Don't be silly.
And this is our last scene with young Liam. And it was interesting. We had talked about where she'd done some finger painting with Liam, and she got something on her face. And then we ended up doing the sequence, and we talked about maybe, should that be there? And what I thought was kind of interesting is, and we didn't have a lot of time to like take her out of makeup and put her back in makeup and all this stuff. But I said like maybe he's made his mark on her in some way. Maybe Liam's made his mark on her in some way that, you know, will come back to another point in the show and matter.
Perhaps episode 7 of season 2.
Say
So.
goodbye, Liam. Goodbye.
Who's writing 7?
Nancy Pimentel. And here's
This
Terry
guy's-
Milkovich.
Yeah, this guy's a great
You
actor.
making all that noise? I'm trying to fucking sleep.
You want your stupid eggs or not, Dad? Stop being such
And
a
Jane Levy playing Mandy as well.
He just got a starring role in another series.
Suburgatory.
Yeah.
ABC pilot.
Sadly, we lost her.
Yeah.
Fortunately, but
they'll be shooting right across the
Yeah.
lane.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
This was a great, interesting sequence. We didn't have a lot of time, and it's about how do you cover this. So my attitude was that let's just follow him in, end on the two of you, and then just sit there. It's so uncomfortable. And then when he leaves, I thought it worked well where he basically says what he has to say, and his next line is really about these guys, so just stay on
You
them,
two look like a couple of fags.
which is pretty great. Great performances, guys.
St. Frank?
Know where he is?
My heart says up there, but my gut says he died.
And this is the beginning of...
Shit, asshole.
He did. He offed himself. OD'd.
That's Kev, played by Steve Howie, and the two goons who are coming to take care of Frank, and this is the beginning of the ruse where they're going to act like Frank is already dead. That was a story from the British show.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, which was, and these guys are wonderful guys you've seen a million times in shows. But it was very, very well done.
Kiss me and I'll cut your fucking tongue out.
A hearse?
Just imagine coming home. You leave for, 16 hours or something. You come back and there's a
There's a
hearse in
person
front of your
outside.
house.
Exactly right.
It's great.
Probably not the first time Fiona's come home to something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You guys are setting up the classic ruse of Frank has died. Emma's great here.
Fake as death. Borrowed a casket. Carl found some flowers.
Watch young Liam smiling when you cut back to him. He's all into it.
Anybody see him?
I love Emma's old woman morning shawl that she has.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
What are you doing here? I told you to forget about it. Shit. Are you okay?
I'm good.
What's
Poor
interesting?
Mandy.
What's interesting with both of you is the fact that you're just so bold and so courageous, and just the way you just do stuff and the way the characters are. it's just, you know, actors work for many, many years to even understand a touch of that.
And I don't think there's anything we've ever written or pitched as stories that you guys have said, well, hold on a second, I'm not comfortable with this.
No.
It feels like anything that the character might do, the cast just kind of jumps in and wants to do.
Well, I think we love it. I mean, there's not many other opportunities we'd ever have to, you know,
No.
it's like so much fun. It's these things I want to do as Jeremy, but I'm too much of a pussy about it, and you know.
But you get to slug Dad
you
here.
get
That's
to-
good,
yeah,
right? Take him
yeah.
out.
I remember, that punch was so. I got shit from my friend forever because I had my wrist bent, and I would have broken my wrist if I'd actually hit someone like that, and you can see it for a split second.
Well, Frank's got a glass jaw, so that's okay. Yeah. Poor Frank is dead.
Sorry for your loss.
It was a shock.
What's really great, too, is just how committed you guys are to selling the ruse.
I know you're faking it. Come on, open your eyes, you lying squirrely sack. Jesus, Rod, you're alive or not? Come on. What's the matter with you? Look at him, he's dead.
Sorry, he's been under a lot of stress, guys.
Okay, check with the boss. Nobody move.
I love the phone call when he's talking to his boss.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, yet another, without having to say anything to Carl, here's what you got to go do.
11, 12.
Very eager to go do it, too.
Yeah.
Right.
I wrote Frank. Any toes, fingers, you know, for proof. Okay. Keeps his extremities.
I remember Ethan, who plays Carl, really wanted to throw that bowling ball through the window, didn't
Oh,
he?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You
he
had to really
jumps at
pull
the
him back.
opportunity to do anything like that.
He was very disappointed that you cut the shot before.
Damn it, that's me. They're gonna bury him?
Now, to bury the casket, what do we do now?
Something to put in the coffin.
Another one. Grin and nod.
And now we're back in Chicago, and it's very, very cold.
Rescued by
Man,
the
that
meat.
was just smell. Oh my god.
Carl's not looking to share. Yes, I am. You're not.
Let me help. Hey, Jesus. It's starting to get ripe.
Getting ripe. Yeah, that worked out pretty
Can you
well.
come here for a second, honey? I want to show you something. This
Yeah, this is, I think, my favorite scene in the show.
No.
You don't see the
I
camera.
love how Marguerite plays this, too.
Oh, she's
The
so
calm,
great.
casual.
There.
Register matches inventory.
Yeah, you're right. I should probably shut it off. But then I'd miss the part where you take it up the ass from a teenage boy. Here it is. Billy Elliot, cornholing
It's also,
the
it's really a
father of my
testament
children.
here of, you don't have to show everything, but basically her description of it, and you get a mental picture, you're going to know exactly what happened. I think, which works very well.
Linda, I just got your message. What's up?
And you walking in not knowing anything that's going to happen, Cameron. That was a punch.
She didn't break her wrist on that one.
What about my mom?
You bastard! What about me?
Cash such a pussy. Asking what if his mom finds out.
My favorite line in the show is coming up.
Where's that leave me? Starting over? I'm a white Muslim.
Yeah, that's great.
I think that's
She
something
says
that
it
we try
so
to do.
so honestly.
Oh, yes.
It's something we try to do a lot on the show is have the ridiculousness juxtaposed with the real emotion of it, even
Oh,
if
right.
you can in the same line.
Oh, very much so.
And that's when I think the show is at its best and kind of separates itself from the tones of other shows.
Oh, this is like nothing else. This is, I watched this and I said to myself, this is the real Modern Family.
I'm sorry.
You're not fired. My opinion? You could do better.
Okay, they have to keep this roost up just a little longer.
Sorry, buddy. It's a private wake.
Lip acting as bouncer for the wake.
This truck that wants to come into the place.
Frank Gallagher, loving husband, devoted father, truly respected and cherished member.
Steve Howey's one of those guys who's just so naturally funny.
Yeah,
that
he can say
whatever you
anything.
give him, yeah, he'll just turn it into something humorous.
He sure will.
In the afterlife, they treat him as kindly as he treated all of us. To Frank.
Long trip back to Milwaukee.
You okay to drive?
Call me, baby. And I loved how this worked out when they leave. Everyone kind of leans out.
Gonna take more than that to put out the lights on Frank Gallagher.
These are people that live life to the fullest.
And it's great. I love how, you know, Lip hit him to get him in the coffin, and
Right.
now it's back to, you know, we succeeded, our mission
Together.
is, you know, completed, and now he's sitting with him, listening to him.
Pontificate about hot thighs.
Exactly.
He was warm. Like the inner thighs of an overworked hooker.
Is that your line?
That is my line.
It's great.
Hey. You take it they're gone?
You want a Fight Club? God, your mom loves that line so much.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think every time I see her, she's like, remember that episode where you said, are you in a Fight Club? I was like, yeah. I love that line.
Still gets her.
Yeah.
Just want to clarify, he's not talking about the writer's mom.
Right, no.
Who also loves that line. This is just Joan doing a great job with not needing any words.
Yeah. And you guys also find some great music for these sequences. It's so unique and so oblong, and it just fits so well.
People ask me, they say, Frank, why do you drink to get drunk? And why
Little Hank Williams
Carl.
Jr.
must you live out all those songs that you wrote?
Seemed fitting to have family tradition as the song is being.
My brothers, Debbie, you paid him to tell me to go away last night, didn't you?
And this is one of those instances where he's saying something really big, saying I love you for the first time.
Right.
And all Emmy has is a look. You don't give her any dialogue. She
No.
can get it totally across just in a look. How that lands on her.
Kev has become kind of like the love guru in a way. You know, it's like you always go to him, and he always knows exactly what to say.
Oh, fuck, Frank. Another TV? I'm okay.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. This was a great experience and a real tribute to great writing. And thanks, guys. We're real honored to work with you guys on this.
Thank you, David.
We'll see you
Always
soon.
fun.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Season 2,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. Well, this is great too at the very end. And I think
yeah, I love these little
I love Bill's little ad here about what am I, my father?
$72.24.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher.
Mr. Gallagher, is my dad here? Call me Liam.
Fantastic.
That's great.
So classic.
But no one found a trace. 'Cause it took no sign to look. Someone said, stop me up a fire and flame. Gonna burn me up, but I can't